Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Rehan and I'm a student of Callannie High School Islamabad Foundation Law student. So today my call any topic. My
Why? What's the move?
my topic is air breathing life into language.
Dope angle. Air, breathing, language feels like you're looking at the actual physical side of how we talk. Where you want to start with this?
Okay. So my first question is what is air and why it essential for life?
Keeping it fundamental, I like it. Air is basically a cocktail of gases, mostly nitrogen and oxygen, that surrounds us. It's essential because your cells need oxygen to create energy. Without it, the whole system just shuts down in a few minutes. You want
Okay.
to get into the science of it, or are we moving toward how this connects to language?
What gases make up Earth's atmosphere and why do humans need oxygen to survive?
The big players are nitrogen, which takes up about 78%, and oxygen at around 21%, with a tiny sprinkle of argon, carbon dioxide, and other trace gases. As for the oxygen, it's the fuel for your cells. It goes through a process called cellular respiration to turn nutrients into energy. No oxygen, no energy, no living.
Okay.
You want to dive
How does
into how the other gases fit in?
how does breathing
I'm feeling
keep
the vibe.
our bodies alive and what role does air play in human communication?
Breathing is basically its delivery service. It brings in the oxygen need to function and dumps the carbon dioxide waste. Now, when it comes to communication, air is the actual medium. Without a controlled stream of air pushing through your vocal cords, you've just got silence. It's the
Okay.
physical energy that turns a thought into a sound you can actually hear.
Why why cannot we
You want to
speak
talk
without air and how is the human voice produced using air?
sleeping without air thing because your brain or heart never actually clock out. Even when you're knocked out, your body is still running that oxygen delivery service to keep your organs alive.
Okay. What is the relationship between breath and language?
It's a total partnership. Breath is essentially the engine for language. You can't have speech without a controlled exhale. The air is what vibrates your vocal cords and shapes the sounds in your mouth and throat. It's why you can't talk forever in one go. You literally run out of fuel. It's also why your breath carries so much emotion, like how a sigh or a gasp tells a
Okay.
story before you even say a word.
How does the day paragraph and help us breathe and speak?
And how the way we breathe helps we read and speak in paragraphs, right? It's all about the rhythm. When we speak or read aloud, we use breath groups basically. We pause to take a hit of air at the end of a thought or a comma.
Okay,
That's what creates the structure of a paragraph in real life. The pauses give the listener a second to digest the info and give us a chance to refuel the engine.
why is
Without that,
controlled breathing important for public
I get
speaking and how do singers use air to improve their voices?
control is everything in public speaking because lets you manage the pace and the punchlines. Just if you're just leaking air, you run out of steam mid sentence and sound nervous.
Okay,
Control lets you project your voice, use pauses to build, which is how you actually command a room.
okay.
Singers take it to the level with something called diaphragmatic breathing. Instead of
Why
shallow
do
chest breaths, they use their diaphragm to push a steady, powerful column of air.
why do
That's how they
different
hit those long
languages
notes or
have
huge.
different sounds and how does air help create constant sound?
Different languages have different sounds because of how they manipulate the air passing through the vocal tract. They're basically your throat, mouth, and nose. Some languages use clicks or guttural sounds from the back of the throat, while others rely more on the lips and teeth to shape the air. As for creating constant sound, it's all about the flow. To keep a sound
Okay.
going, you have to maintain a steady stream of air while keeping your
What
vocal
is
cords
the
vibrating at a
what
speed.
is the role of tongue in shaping sound and how do the lips affect speech?
I'm guessing you mean the tongue, right? The tongue is basically the master sculptor of speech. It moves around to block or redirect air, which is how you turn a generic sound into a specific letter, like the difference between a T8 and a.
Okay, next question.
Your
Why is
lips do the same thing.
pronunciation important in communication and what happens when airflow is blocked while speaking?
They're like the final gatekeepers. Is the lips handle the plosives, those sounds where you build up air and then let it pop like pour. They're what give the air its final shape before it hits the world. You feeling the way this all fits together?
Okay. How do babies learn to control their breath for speech, and why is breathing considered the foundation of languages?
Babies basically start with trial and error. They spend a ton of time just making random noises, cooing and babbling, which is really just them experimenting with how to push air through their throat and mouth. Eventually, they figure out the coordination between their diaphragm, vocal cords, and lips to make specific sounds that get a reaction from the people around them.
Okay.
As for breathing being the foundation, it's because air is the raw material.
Okay.
Every single spoken language on Earth, regardless of where it's from, relies on the same basic physics,
How
moving
does
air to create vibration.
how
Yo,
does
what?
air pollution affect
You're
our
leaving me
health,
hanging here.
and can polluted air impact our ability to speak?
Polluted air is a disaster for plants. It can clog their stomata, the tiny pores they use to breathe, which basically chokes them and stops them from taking in the carbon dioxide they need to grow. As for speaking, yeah, it definitely hits. Chronic pollution can inflame your airways and damage your vocal cords, making your voice sound raspy or just making it harder to push that air out consistently.
Okay.
Ever notice how some cities have a distinct smog cough that changes how people sound?
Okay. How does hydration help the voice, and why do actors practice breathing exercises?
Hydration is like oil for the engine. It keeps the mucus on your vocal cords thin and slippery so they can vibrate without rubbing together and getting irritated. When you're dehydrated, that lubrication disappears, and that's when you get that scratchy feeling or lose your voice. As for breathing exercises, they're basically strength training for your diaphragm,
Okay.
helping you control the air so you can speak longer. Do you do any of these exercises or just curious about how they work?
So next question: what role does air play in radio communication, and how does wind influence sound?
Radio is a bit of a plot twist because it actually doesn't use air. It converts sound into electromagnetic waves, which can travel through the vacuum of space where there's zero air. But wind, that's a different story. Corinne physically pushes waves, which is why if the wind is blowing from you towards someone, they'll hear you loud and clear. But if it's blowing the other way, your voice just gets swept away. It's like the wind is literally stealing your words. Does that make sense, or you want to dive deeper into the physics of it?
Okay, thank you so much for your time. This is my call any Pakistan Zindabad. Thank you.